Get this shit the long way, hit the long way, long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit the long way. Gotta get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Gotta get this shit the long way. Get this shit, gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit the long way. Gotta get this shit the long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand. She don't understand. Niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand. Sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree. Yeah, told you the other day that did my palm strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a palm way. My name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done talking. Yesterday she told me that she bout to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went and got some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the palm way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, 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 yeah, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys today? Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm LJ, your host and the founder. Welcome if you're new. 1 second here. I don't see anybody in the chat yet, so if you're saying something, I'm sorry, I can't, for some reason, it's not popping up. But anyway, I'm your host and the founder of SMD, and I am simply here to share my gift. And my gift is that I understand that capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. And what says that is true? Mathematics. Math says that's true, what I'm saying. So it's true. So I'm here to share. And so that's what I do, help with my client. I help clients come from the negative side to the positive side. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean to be on the negative side? If you believe you own a house with a mortgage, all you got to do is open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. The calculator will clearly show that you are on the negative side. That's what that number means. It says you're a negative homeowner. You think you're a homeowner, but you're not. So what I do is help people come over from the negative side to the positive side and become a homeowner with no mortgage. Homeowners don't have mortgages. That's what makes them homeowners. That's on the positive side. So when you hear somebody talk about, let's talk about equity. Equity is, since capitalism is positive and negative, and here, let me tell you the psychological part. People with mortgages don't know they don't own anything. That's the psychological part. Even though the calculator tells them, okay, they don't know that. But again, without them knowing that, people that don't know that they don't own houses with mortgages, they make up the housing market. So that's very important that the majority continue to believe that. That's important to the economy, okay? You just don't have to be on the negative side. You can come to the positive side, be a true homeowner with no mortgage. Bank's not in. When it comes to buying a house, it has nothing to do with a bank, nothing. But people on the negative side believe that. But that's all business. There's no fault to the bank. I'm not against the system. Being part of this, being on the positive side of the system is being part of the system. Okay. This side, being on the positive side, that means not only do you know you're on the positive side, you will clearly see that there's a psychological part in capitalism. Period. Okay, that's how it is. Anyway, with this gift, it allows me to see things that people in debt cannot, because people in debt are called debt slaves. I mean, that's my terminology, debt slaves. People that are in debt that don't know they're in debt and they believe they own stuff with no money of their own. Those are debt slaves, right? So I'm able to see things that debt slaves cannot because it's against the laws of mathematics for them. So anyway, I was watching, I'm a follower of Elon Musk, not because of his money, uh, just because of what he does. Okay, you clearly see that what he does has nothing to do with money. Money funds everything he does, but it's not about money. But anyway, he is a person that's coming in and changing how things have been done. People were wanting electric cars, but they made them so ugly, right? Electric cars were out, but they just made them so ugly that people didn't want to buy them. I think the manufacturers were doing that on purpose. They knew if they made an ugly electric car, people wouldn't want to buy the electric car and say, "Hey, look, we tried electric cars, it didn't work." Then here comes Elon Musk. Not only makes a electric car, but he makes it fast and cool, which did what? Forced every car manufacturer to make electric cars. He's on the top of the game right now because of what he did. Superchargers everywhere. Nobody can mess with him. Cars are around the world. His cars are around the world. He's number one. Okay. Now I was looking at this and I happened to come across a recent video that was showing an updated version of the beta version of the self-driving software that comes that comes with the Teslas, right? With the push of a button, right? They don't have to install anything. They just push a button and activate it, right? He's absolutely brilliant. But anyway, now I was thinking to myself, that self-driving software is getting better and better and better. And then it dawned on me. I was like, I know what he's doing. He's about to take over the rideshare market. He's about to take it over. Now think about it right now. These self-driving cars right now, they look ugly, big spinning things on them. Back to the ugly stuff, right? When you see a self-driving car, you can clearly see that's a self-driving car because it looks weird. All of that is built into Teslas. Elon Musk and Tesla, they're doing the exact same thing as those cars, but without all that stupid shit on it, right? He's way ahead of the game. So this is I predict what he's going to do, right? Eventually he's going to master this self-driving software. It's going to be perfect, better than anybody's. That's how it's going to be, right? Once that's mastered, I guarantee you they're going to launch some kind of Tesla rideshare service. And since Teslas are all over the world, they're going to pay people that already own Teslas to be part of their service. Now, you guys got to remember how it works. Teslas were selling at a certain price point, right? At a certain price point for a long time. And then one day he drops them like 30,000. What does that mean? That means the people that financed the Tesla before the price point drop are now upside down underwater in their Tesla and they can't get out. So maybe Tesla's going to come across a deal. Hey, you know what? This will be an easy way to get out from under, get out of debt from the car, or whatever they're going to make up, how they're going to do it, right? Do this rideshare service. Hey, your car, like when he masters, they won't even need the driver of the car. They'll just say, hey, we'll just use your car. You come up with some kind of app or something that say my car is available. And then they can just automate, because they got the networking all in. Tesla already controls its cars, right? Tesla controls every car. Uber and Lyft, they don't control the driver's cars, but Tesla does. Now, if he can use all people that already have Teslas, that means they don't have to buy no cars. Same thing as what Uber and Lyft are doing, but very different, right? But very different. They still control the cars, even if they don't own them. They just need permission from the owner. That's it. Now imagine this. There is no service that will be able to compare to them because they don't have that many cars on the road like Tesla. Tesla, you see what I'm saying? Tesla will create their own rideshare service, right? Rideshare service that's strictly to Teslas. No driver, no gasoline required. And imagine the people that own the Tesla, they'll come at them like, hey, instead of, you don't really have to drive the car to pick up people and stuff. We can do it for you just using the car. You just stay at home and let your car make the money for you. You think Teslas are going to turn that down? They're going to be like, hell no, I'll be all over that. You mean I don't even have to go pick up the people to drop people off? It'll do it without me in it? Yeah, they're going to be all over it. But of course, Tesla's going to get the majority of the share of that money. Believe that. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's coming. Uber and Lyft have to be nervous. They have to be nervous. I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, why is Tesla so on this self-driving software? Because they're about to take over the market. They're about to take over the market. And guess what? Uber and Lyft can't do anything about it because think about it. They already own the majority of superchargers everywhere throughout the United States of America. They can run their service anywhere and they can automatically pull up their cars to all the Tesla stations they own, fill them up for free because they own them. They own the charging stations, okay? So they fill them up for themselves. Man, they're about to change the. Congratulations, Mr. Musk. Not, hey, listen, he didn't even do it. Listen, he didn't even do it. He's taking over the phone market too. Why you think T-Mobile jumped on with Tesla? Because they want to survive. Once people know they can finance a phone that can work anywhere in the world, where do you think they're going? They're going to Tesla. No dead spots. You mean Tesla will have a phone that has no dead spots? What service are you going for? You're going for Tesla. T-Mobile said, hey, listen, we're joining you, Tesla. I don't care what it costs. We're joining. AT&T and Verizon, ooh, man, they got to be nervous. What's up, Michael? Mister? Uber already, would you say Uber is already renting Teslas to Uber drivers and they run out of stock quick? And see that? And that's what I mean. They're not going to be doing that. They're not going to be renting the Tesla. Tesla, when they start their rideshare service, they're going to be using the cars of current Tesla drivers. The same way Uber does it. Say, you think about it. Uber and Lyft, people use their own cars. The same way Tesla's going to do the same thing, but Tesla has the advantage. All the camera software is already built in. They're ready to go. And they already control the cars. They control each and every car. They will know if the cars are up to par, meet the specs, because they can just push a button and say, oh, this car got bad brakes and needs new tires or windshield's cracked or whatever sensors they got on there. And they say, sorry, your car is not qualified to work with our service, which will require the person who actually owns the car to fix the problems to be able to join the rideshare of Tesla. Absolutely brilliant. Congratulations, Mr. Musk. If you ever hear this, hey, man, I'm going to know you one day. Congratulations. All electric cars are being taken as soon as Uber gives drives and get a deal to rent them. I'm sure. That's how you know. That's how you know how successful Tesla's going to be. He's just right now, he's just perfecting the software. Like, think about it. Like I said earlier, you see how the self-driving electric cars look on the road right now? When you get in one of those cars, everybody knows you're in a self-driving car because all the spinning shit and cameras all over the place. You won't know if a person's in a Tesla unless the windows are not tinted. You won't know if that's a self-driving Tesla or not. You won't even know. What's up, Robert? Would you say good afternoon? That's me. I had to get my wisdom tooth pulled today. Oh, that ain't nice. Has Tesla made any money yet? I don't know. I'm just talking about what they're going to do. Like, he's going to Mars. There's rockets going. I'm assuming they're making money if they're going to Mars. That's how I see it. The company, yeah, it looks like it. But do I follow stocks and stuff like? I don't do that. I'm just going by what I see. This is happening. Elon will allow Twitter to eventually allow crypto to be used on Twitter, and will also allow people to buy stocks from the platform as well, all in one place of it for sure. And you know why they all believe Elon? Because he's rich. His opinion on stocks is just like his opinion on cryptocurrency is just like yours. It's no different. But see, this is the difference, okay? When you come to this channel, I'm gonna explain it to you guys. Capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. Cryptocurrency really doesn't exist because it's you. If you're in debt, cryptocurrency is you. Like if you believe, say like you have student loan debt and you decided to invest in cryptocurrency. That makes the cryptocurrency you because you cannot invest in cryptocurrency while having student loan debt. You can't do that. So that makes it you. So anybody, this is what I want people to understand about cryptocurrency, okay? If you're on the negative side of it, that's a bad thing. If you're on the positive side of it, that's a good thing. Okay. I'm not saying don't do cryptocurrency. I'm just saying the word cryptocurrency is positive and negative. Let me give you an example. If you have a person coming up to you talking to you about cryptocurrency, this is what you turn to. You turn to them and say, do you have student loan debt? If they tell you yes, they're talking about negative cryptocurrency. You turn to them and say, is that phone in your hand financed? If they say yes, they're talking about negative cryptocurrency. Okay. And you turn to the person and say, do you have a mortgage? And if they say yes, they're talking about negative cryptocurrency because when you have debt, you have no money to invest in cryptocurrency. Now, if you on the positive side of the economy and you do have money to invest in cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency is real for you. You understand? Because you had the actual money to buy it. It's not a physical thing. It's all psychological anyway. Cryptocurrency really doesn't exist. That's a thought in your brain. Okay. That's not, you can't touch it, feel it, smell it. That's a psychological thing. It's not real. It's about as real as you believe it is. Put it this way. If you invested in cryptocurrency while having student loan debt, okay, this is what you do. You open up the calculator, you put in the amount of money that you invested in cryptocurrency minus your student loan balance and hit equal. That large negative number you see on the calculator, that's the calculator telling you that you didn't invest in anything because you didn't have no money to invest in anything. So the cryptocurrency is you. You get it? This is why when it comes to, here's another example. Let's get back to Tesla, okay? 99% of the Teslas you see on the road are financed. That means those people are not saving any money on gas because they didn't even have the money to buy the car. You can't save money on gas if you don't even have the money to buy the things that's supposed to save you money on gas. You can't do that. Who said that? Because math sure didn't say it. And if you're an electric car owner and you're confused, this is all you got to do. Open up the calculator, put in your car payment minus your car balance equals your gas savings. Now you're looking at this large negative number and saying, what do you mean? I can't save gas with a large negative number. No, all you have to do is believe it. You see the large negative number? That means you own nothing. They use that large negative number says they bought you with the car. They used the car. They put the car on the hook. You signed up and put yourself on the hook. They owned you through the car. The bank does. That means you're owned. That's what that means. That means you don't buy nothing. Tesla had bought a lot of money from the Tesla had bought. I'm not sure what you're saying, Michael. Tesla bought a lot of money from the government. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I noticed walking in Miami, there are a lot of people using electric scooters. I see that a lot too. That's different. That's very different. So Andre said less and less people are going to use less cars. I mean, eventually, yeah, but eventually, I'm just talking about what Elon's about to do. People don't even see it. He's about to be number one in the phone market, the cellular phone market. because it got satellites. No dead spots used around the world. AT&T and Verizon can't mess with that. That's why T-Mobile joined them, because they knew. Now here he comes for the rideshare market. You think he's developing that self-driving software for nothing? He's doing it for something. He's about to take over that market. Teslas are around the world. There is no self-driving electric car company that can fuck with Elon right now as far as cars go. Nobody. He's already in all markets. His cars are everywhere. Charging stations, supercharging stations everywhere, by the way. Yes, he is. He's going to be just like Jeff Bezos. Congratulations to them both. Why are you probably thinking, why are they so big, or were they special, or did somebody give them a head start? No. They all know that capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. Nobody owns math. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Nobody can own math. Nobody. I think most of the rockets are being paid by the government. I don't know. That's a level of knowing that I will never know. And I've accepted that. Everything else is a guess. It really, and tell you the truth, Pedro, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's achieving his goals, whatever it takes. Let me put it this way, because I really want people to understand this. If you are in debt, I'm just here to tell you, it's the harsh truth, but your opinion doesn't matter. Why? Because you don't even own yourself. Not talking to you, Pedro. I'm just saying in general. If you are in debt and you don't know how much you're in debt, your opinion in the financial system is irrelevant, because you don't even own yourself. Your credit reports, those are owner ledgers. They keep track of all the businesses that each own a share of you. Each own a share. Now, if you want to believe that or not, it's whatever. It's totally up to you. But if you don't own yourself, your opinion in the economy is irrelevant. You are a part of the economy. Don't get me wrong. Debt slaves are the major part of the economy. Without you, there would be no economy. There would be no car market, no housing market, no phone market, no vehicle, electric car market. It wouldn't be none of that without you guys financing cars. The majority don't know you're not supposed to finance things that go down in value at an interest rate based on your gross income and overtime. That's how they're supposed to be, though. That's how it is. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be on that side. You can come to the positive side of it. That's the negative side of it. I'm to help people come here to join the positive side of the economy. His end goal is to sell the self-driving software to long-haul transportation companies to move goods around the country. Who knows? Who knows? I believe he's about to take over the rideshare market. That's what I believe. Just check this out. They don't even have to use any of their cars. All of their cars are out there for people that are deep in debt, upside down in their cars, that think they have no choice. They're going to do it. You guys don't really understand. When he did that price drop, you guys have no idea how many Tesla owners that put them upside down in that car. They can't even buy the. Think about it. If the car price was dropped 30,000, a person financing a Tesla does not have 30,000 to get out of that car. They don't. Everything drops. Everything. They can't even sell it. They have to just, hey, it burned up. I don't know. Whatever. But that's the only way you're getting out of it. I have no money in crypto because I think crypto won't be useful unless the government has full control of it. If the government created its own coin, I'm sure its value will increase. Put it this way, and this is just my opinion, okay? Pedro, when you see this crypto and all these different ones, those are test things, okay? Those are, To me, my opinion, they have to be because it's going that way, right? They're just sitting back and let all those people do the stuff they do, find out the mistakes and what not to do, whatever, right? And then they're going to come out with central bank digital currency and outlaw all the rest. All you got to do is take a history lesson and see the U.S. dollar. All you got to do is read about how it came about. It just one day they set the standard and said we're outlawing all the rest. The same is going to go with central bank digital currency. It doesn't matter. We live here in the United States. These are the laws and the rules you have to abide by. If you don't like it, leave. It doesn't matter. They're just seeing what people are doing, not doing. Hey, it's this and that. Then they're going to come out with central bank digital currency. Just like right now, you can't come up with your own paper money. Try to come up with your own paper money and see what happens. You go to prison. You try to copy it, you go to prison. They're going to do the same thing with central bank digital currency. And people in debt, people in debt think they have a choice of what's going to happen. You guys don't. You guys are in debt. You don't even own yourself. You have no say so. That's like say like you had a house with 5 rooms. 4 of the people are paying the rent and one person's not. And then the 4 other 4 people decide, hey, we should change the rug in the house. And then the person that's not paying rent comes out and says, oh, no, I don't want that rug changed. Are you going to listen to him about the rug being changed? No, you're going to do it. That's the same thing where we live. If you are, put it this way, if you are begging for student loan forgiveness, don't worry about central bank digital currency, crypto. Don't worry about any of that because you're in debt. You don't even own yourself. If you're crossing your fingers, if you paid on your student loan debt while the pause was here, and then at the end you ask for a refund, you're back in debt. So now they own you again. You got yourself out, and then you ask for a refund check, and they gave it to you. Now you're back in debt. You sold yourself back. Now you think the house example that I just gave you. Now think of the house of the United States of America. You over here worried about if the government's going to do a central bank digital currency, but at the same time, you're begging for student loan forgiveness. What are you talking about? Oh man, he should forgive $20,000. If you have $100,000 in student loan debt and he forgives 20, do you have 80? No, then it's going to be right back in interest because you're not going to pay it off. Imagine having your own TSLA make money. What do you mean by TSLA? What is that? Make sure I'm clear on that. Government loans means we fund it. That is true. Debt slaves fund them. Yes. That's just that's just the way it works. That's nothing. That's not bad or good. It just is. Once people accept that's what they always like. Hey man, the government. This is what crazy when you listen to debt slaves. Oh man, the government's wild spending. They spend so much money on this. I said, can I see your personal credit report? Let's see how you've been running the financial business of yourself. Let me see your credit report. And then 9 times out of 10, nobody will ever show me. That's why I'm the only one on the internet that has went live showing you my credit report, because that proves that I own myself. That's what a credit report is. Credit reports are owner ledgers. It proves if you own yourself or not. One look at it, if you got a whole bunch of businesses listed on it, I can clearly see that you don't own yourself. When you look at my credit report, it shows all zeros. That means no businesses own me. His cars are running in emergency vehicles and 2 bridges catches on fire. Hey, that's called the evolution. That's called evolution. Nobody stops evolution. You better get on board. I'm not talking directly to you, Michael, but people put it this way. I noticed this too, as far as I've been growing SMD. People love to cut down things that they don't understand. They really do. Oh man, look at that. That happened. Who gets it right first out the gate? When you start your own business, let me tell you something, especially what I do. Before I got into this business, I already knew it was going to be an uphill battle because there's more debt slaves than not. I know that, but I have math on my side, so it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter if I say to a person, you don't really own a house because you have a mortgage, and they get mad about it, it doesn't matter because it's mathematically true. So their feelings about what math says is irrelevant to me. If you believe you're a homeowner, open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. That large negative number says you don't own nothing. That large negative number says you are the equity in the house. Because you believe you bought something with no money. That's the psychological part. You believe you bought something with no money. That's what if the calculator could talk, that's what it's telling you. You got to look at that calculator and say, what kind of house can I buy with that large negative number? Nothing. Then how did you buy the house you're living in today? You didn't. You financed it. That's what that large negative means. That large negative number means you didn't buy anything. You financed it. That's when you do your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, that's your ownership, equity, and appreciation. That's what that is. Now you have a choice. You have a choice. You can believe the calculator or not. You could trust. No, mathematics is not a belief. That's a fact. So you can trust the calculator. You could choose to trust the calculator or not. The choice is yours. If you don't, you will live on the negative side of the economy for the rest of your life. So when you see, now I want you guys to understand this. When this happens, because this is obvious to me, when Tesla takes over the rideshare market, I want you to come back to this video. I want you to think, well, how did he know that? Could he predict that? That's the obvious. I'm not predicting any future or nothing like that. I don't want you guys to think I'm special. That's obvious to me. That's like, okay, he's clearly going to take over the rideshare market. Clearly. He's going to be number one in that market. That's clear. Cars everywhere, superchargers everywhere, whole bunch of Tesla owners, all finance, all of them think they're saving money on gas. They're financing the charging too. They don't know that. They're going to be more than happy to participate in Tesla's rideshare program. Believe that. LJ, would you love in a carless city? Well, you know what? It counts on what kind of city you're living in. If you're living in a congested city, of course, no cars. But if you're living in a not so congested city, I want a car. Do I need a car? No. Where I live, yeah, I need a car where I live. I don't drive it every day, but I need it, right? It counts on it all. Honestly, it counts on your age. It counts on where you live, because when you're younger, you think living in congested cities is nice because you got the shops and the bars and this and that, blah blah blah. Well, when you're young, you're in debt. You don't really know you're keeping yourself in debt doing that, trying to keep up with the people that believe exactly what you do because you're young. You think totally. Young people look at themselves wrong, right? Instead of they know they're young, but they don't know they're brand new to earth. You're brand new, brand spanking new. That debt slaves have to be raised. So they have to write out the 18. Hey, get credit. That's the only way you're going to get a car and house. The training starts early. It really starts from your parents, really. And then when you're 18, all your friends think they're buying houses with mortgages. And then they think at 30, they're supposed to have kids and get married and finance the wedding. That's all a program. None of that is true. But an older person can't tell a younger person that because they think the older person is too late, or they think 50's old or something. Who knows what young people think? It doesn't really matter. They don't know. They're just young debt slaves in training. And if they keep listening to people, thinking that the only way to buy a house is with a mortgage and the only way to buy a car is with a car loan, you're going to be there your entire life, living on the negative side of the economy. Like, this is what's so crazy. You'll see, and I can guarantee you the young people look at this, and just people in general, they'll see all the homeless population, right? They're like, look at all these homeless people littering our city. You think they're all drug users? Now, TV will make you believe that the people that are living on the street are drug addicts. That's not true. That is not true. Are there? They get down so bad to where some people turn to drugs, yeah, but they're not all drug addicts. You know what the majority of those people are? They're in debt. Being in debt got them there. Bad financial choices too get you there. If you continue on with your life thinking you own a house with a mortgage, you pulling the equity out 3, 4, 5 times, the whole time you still think you're a homeowner, you're going to be there on the streets. You keep it up. You keep it up, you're going to be there, holding the sign, doing whatever. Yes, they do. That's all part of the program. Now, when you come to the positive side, listen, when you come to the positive side of the economy and understand how it works, guess what you do? You buy an apartment building in the cramped city and charge all the money to those young debt slaves. That's business. If I had the money to buy a building in a congested city and I had the money to get it and charge the rent that they charge, I would do that. That's called business. I'm here to show my clients mathematics, not prove it to them. I'm not here to prove mathematics to anybody. Math has been proven for long as any of us have been alive. Math is a proven fact. I don't have to prove that. You know, people say, well, LJ, what if I get a loan and then I buy a house at 200, I stay in it for 6 years and then it appreciates 600,000 and then I sell it, I got 600,000. That's a program, debt slaves. Would you learn that from the internet? All you got to do is this. When you hear somebody say that, oh man, you know, the house will appreciate. I buy it at 200,000, keep it for 5 years, appreciate 6. It's almost at 700,000. I take the 500, put it in my pocket and walk away. All you got to do is go to Google and type in total mortgage loan debt. It's in the trillions. That means whatever they're saying is not true because there's trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt. That's what that means. That means people with mortgages are not paying them off. That's what that means. When you refinance your house, you go from a 30-year mortgage to a 40-year mortgage to a 50-year mortgage to a 60-year mortgage. They be looking at the Chinese talking about, oh man, they're talking about starting 100-year mortgages. Those are already here. It counts on how many times you refinance your house. When you refinance your house, your mortgage starts over. Back to Mr. Musk. That man right there, absolutely just, you guys, man. When this happens like this, when he takes over the rideshare market, I want you to come back to this video. I want you to see, damn, LJ said that a long time ago. Why? Because it's obvious. It's no different than I said earlier. Electric cars, the other manufacturers come out with ugly electric cars. Nobody really wanted to buy them. Tesla comes out with cool electric cars. Everybody and their mama buying them. The self-driving cars on the road right now, weird and ugly and weird looking, spinning shit all over the place. Teslas are doing the exact same thing without that stuff on them. What's that tell you? Absolutely brilliant, man. I saw that. I saw this guy doing a demo on the software, the beta software, this newest updated software. I was like, yep, that's what Elon's doing. That's what Tesla's doing. Congratulations, Tesla. They're about to kill the game. About to kill it. Because I don't what pisses me off though sometimes, like with the regular service. Now I know Uber and Lyft can't really keep track. It's got to be difficult to keep track of the people that use the type of cars they use for the service, because there is nothing worse than calling an Uber and somebody comes in with some old ass smoke filled older car. It's like, I look at that car, it counts on, are you ready to go or not? Because there's been a couple of times, I haven't done it yet because I always had to get somewhere. They would pull up in the car and I'm like, no, man, no. You know, because there's a couple times I wanted to say no. That would The probability of that happening when with Tesla's ride share will be slim to none. It will be slim to none. Because there's nothing. Hey, I know everybody has experienced that. Call the Uber, and they pull up in some old bucket that they clearly smoke in. Especially when you don't smoke and you get in a car that you know for a fact that's all they do is smoke. That's disgusting. I don't want to be in a smoke-filled car. Imagine, imagine being, imagine catching an Uber or a Lyft inside of one of the cities that marijuana is legal. Now imagine catching an Uber that clearly has weed been smoked in it, and you're with your kids and shit. You see what I'm saying? If they can do it with cigarettes, they can do it with weed. And if you have to, again, if you calling it, you obviously need to go somewhere. And if they come, you're just gonna eat it. But LJ, you think he could become a monopoly? Uh, Monopoly. I don't really look at it that way because I think all new evolution, when evolution happens, there's always a person that takes off in front. And of course, that person that takes off in front looks like they have a monopoly. Like there are other cool electric cars coming out. So I don't really think that's a monopoly. Will he have a monopoly on the ride share market for a while? Yes, for sure, he will. But that's just a matter of time, right? All these electric car manufacturers are trying to catch up with Tesla. He's not trying to catch. He is their competition, not vice versa. They're catching up with him because what what good is an electric car if you don't and you can't charge it fast? You know what I'm saying? You don't have the option to have it supercharged. People will people will look, listen. This is what people with finance electric cars trade for financing an electric car. They exchange the time in their life for the electric car. Why? Because they have to pull up to a charging station and sit there for 30 to 45 minutes if they don't have to wait in line. You think I would do that? Would you if you pulled up with your car to a gas station, right? And the gas was 99 cents, but they said, but by the way, it's going to take you 30 minutes to fill your car. Would you stay there and pump your gas for 30 minutes? Because it's 99 cents? But people with electric cars do that every day. Why? Because they have no choice, because they don't have superchargers at home. Why? Because they finance the car. What's up, QJC? What's up, Mel? What's up, LJ? I got Tesla stock. I'm gonna be so rich. I'm gonna be like the movie Asylum. Oh, Elysium. I remember that movie. I know what you're talking about. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Oh yeah. You know what? I'm not giving any stock advice. I'm not a stockbroker. I'm just telling you what I see. In my opinion, is the obvious. He is about to own this the ride share market. That is clear. That is crystal clear. He's got look. He's ride share market. He's doing electric full size trucks. Do you guys see that? You think he's just doing that for fun? Hey, here's an option. No, that's the takeover, baby. That's the takeover. He is everywhere. He's making he's just the person ahead of the game, right? Everybody has to get off their ass now and do something. All of them have to. Congratulations, Mr. Musk. Congratulations. That's why he's going to Mars. Sending up rockets, sending up multi-million dollar test rockets like he did today. You think somebody making car payments do stuff like that? You think people that have student loan debt for 20 years, you think they do stuff like that? They don't do stuff like that. They're not worried about the outcome. Like I remember when he first came out with his self-driving cars, that some crashed, some had accident. That's just part of the system. That's how it works. Something happens, you say, what happened? You fix it. I don't know anybody that start a business that comes out the gate perfect each time. That doesn't start a new business that nobody else does and come out the gate perfect each time. Look what I'm doing. Nobody has done what I'm doing. Nobody. Nobody, listen, nobody does what I do. Not nobody. I help people. I bring my clients to the positive side of the economy and become wealthy. What is wealth? What is true wealth? The time in your life. Once you come to the positive side, you now own yourself. That's step number one to becoming wealthy. First, you must own the business of yourself in the United States of America. That's step number one. You must own the business of yourself. If you have student loan debt for 20 years, if you have student loan debt older than your children, your grandchildren, you have never owned yourself ever. And it doesn't even matter if you own a business. Doesn't even matter. Rich, man, rich. Between the phone, trucks, uh, uh, rideshare market, man. I was watching Elon the other day. Do you know he was the largest, like the largest company that was bet against in the stock market? Bet to fail. The largest in history. Look at him now. Who's laughing? All those people bet. Think about all the people that bet against him. What do you think that happened? They're further in the hole, betting on somebody else's failures. Bananas. Congratulations, Mr. Musk. And let me tell you something. If you've never been to zero in your life, once you cross over to zero, there is no going back. There is no going back to the negative side of the economy at all. It doesn't matter if people believe they own houses with mortgages. They're important to the economy too. They're just on the negative side. Who cares what they think? It doesn't matter what people with mortgages believe. That's a belief. When they believe they bought a house with a mortgage, that's a belief. That's not mathematical fact. You don't argue with people like that. Who cares? They're important too. Listen, without them believing that, the housing market wouldn't exist. So they're important. Just like this rocket blew up, you fix it, they're going. And people don't really understand that was a test rocket. They're like, hey, the rocket blew up. Well, I mean, they wasn't really expecting it, but if it did, it's not really a big deal because that was a test rocket. All people need to understand, look, he's sending rock. It doesn't even really even matter if it blows up. All you gotta do is say, look, he's sending up rockets into the sky, into space. It doesn't even matter if it blows up. Look what he's doing. The majority of people that ridicule them and stuff, they're behind on car payments, begging for student loan forgiveness. Faster the charge, the more the life burns out. Yeah, probably so. Still doesn't stop evolution. Just keep going. No different than the phone battery. We got fast chargers now on our phones. I dare anybody to no longer use their fast charger on their phone and go back to the previous version. I guarantee you, you would not. Guaranteed. That's true. Once you get to zero, there is absolutely no going back. So if you guys hear me, right? If you guys hear me and you're in debt, you don't hear me because you're in debt. Is it his money or the government's money? Huh. I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter It doesn't matter whose money it is. All I need you to understand is there's rockets going up in the air. It doesn't matter how it's funded. Just understand that it's funded. They're going up in the air. People, not specifically you, Michael, but people are focusing on the wrong things. And when you're in debt, that's what people do. They focus on the wrong thing. Once you come to the positive side of zero, listen, I'm gonna just be truthful. I'm gonna bring you guys to the positive side, okay? Because you guys can't see it. Whatever that rocket cost, debt slaves paid for it. You guys pay for everything. You guys pay for everything. The rockets, the government funding, the taxes, the interest, whatever. It's you. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. You guys, listen, you guys think it matters that it comes from somewhere because you're in debt. It doesn't matter. I'm not in debt, never believed in that. Congratulations. But as I listen to you, Michael, this is what I listen. And maybe, and if you've been in, not in, well, I don't know. But when I listen to people talk and they look for things, I mean, and I'm not saying not look for things. I'm saying they're missing what I'm saying. Forget about the money. Look, there's a rocket going in the air to space. And he sends several of them there, and then they come back and then they land by themselves. They don't stay in space. Listen, they don't stay there. They come back and land where they took off. How come I think to myself, how come that doesn't blow a person's brain out that can see that? Wow, look at that. Look at that. Wow. I bet Elon doesn't even think about. I guarantee you. Listen, I guarantee you, Elon doesn't think about money. When you guys when debt slaves hear Elon numbers, they're talking about Tesla, the company. Nobody knows how much money Elon personally makes. When people say, "Oh, Elon is worth this much and that much," did you turn to the person and say, "How do you know that? Did you talk to Elon?" Because nobody knows that. Because if you knew how much Elon make, that means Elon knows how much you make. Nobody knows how much you make except your job. Except your job. Did you guys know, when you're in debt, check this out. When you're in debt, do you know it's 100% mathematically impossible to reduce or avoid taxes when you're in debt? Did you know that? You can't do any of that. When you go to Dave Ramsey's baby steps and he says, "Hey, start putting away, get down to your mortgage and start putting away 15% into retirement." Do you know that's 100% mathematically impossible to save for retirement while having a mortgage? That's 100% impossible. Now, whose fault is it if you don't know that? Is it Dave's fault or is it your fault? Dave just, his business, that's his business, nothing personal. Dave just took what's out there, what you guys believe, people that believe they can save for retirement while having a mortgage, and he created a business behind it. That's all it is. That's it. That's 100% impossible. You can't save for retirement while having a mortgage. But millions of people believe they do, which what creates the retirement market. Congratulations. When they always say, "Hey, make sure you does your job do a match? Do a 6% match?" "Oh yeah, mine does too." That's free money on the table. There's no money on the table because you have no money to put there to match. If you're making car payments, you have no money to put into a 401k to get a match. That's what that means. That means the match is you. That means the retirement account is you. That's why you can be saving in your retirement for years and years and years, right? And then something weird happens to the economy, and then all of a sudden you see money drop inside of your retirement account. You know why it drops? Because it's not your money. That's why it drops. Say like you had, say like you had $500,000 in your retirement account for the last 20 years that you've been working, right? And then all of a sudden, 2020 happens, and then everything goes haywire. Then all of a sudden, your money goes from 500,000 to 200,000. You know why it drops? Because it's not your money. That's why it dropped. Now, if you had $500,000 in cash, and then in a savings account, and then 2020 came, and then the economy did something. Guess what you're going to have in your account? $500,000. That's what you're going to have. Know why it's not your money when it's there? Because it hasn't been taxed yet. Until it's been taxed, that's when it becomes your money. When it's taxed, when it's not taxed, that means it's not your money. That's how that works. I've been shooting rockets for 50 years and crashing them. This guy is landing. He is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Elon is not worried. Listen, Elon's at a level that he's not worried about people that are late on car payments are doing. People that are behind begging for student loan forgiveness, begging the president, doing all that bullshit. He's not worried about those people. He's going to Mars. Oh, he's probably working with the government. Yeah, so what that got to do with you? What if you find out, hey, you put it this way, you got to be a complete idiot if you think he's not. You think Elon can just shoot rockets up in the sky when he feels like it? No, he has to ask for permission. Elon just can't build rockets and get the type of stuff and fuel and stuff that he needs to shoot the rockets in the air without getting permission. You got to get permission. Where you live? This is the house of the United States. Could somebody come into your house and start lighting off rockets in your house, like bottle rockets? What if I came into your house and said, hey, man, I'm going to start lighting off bottle rockets in your house? What would you do? You would say, no, you can't. And I say, well, I am anyway. What you going to do? You going to kick me out of your house? A wise man once said, if you have $10,000 in cash with zero debt, you are closer to being a millionaire than a millionaire being a billionaire, for sure. That statement right there is so clear to me today. Now, if I was in debt, I probably wouldn't have understood it, but today it's crystal clear. I listened to Dave for like 20 years and Clark Howard for about 17 years. Put it this way, Dave Ramsey, without him, I wouldn't be who I am today. Okay. When I first got out of debt, I heard nobody like him. He basically said, take this calculator and his baby steps and get out of debt. Cool. That's exactly what I did. But as being a network engineer, as I was, when I got to the baby step 2 or 3 or whatever that is, where you get down to your mortgage, and then he wants you to start putting away 15% into retirement, I said to myself, wait a minute, Dave. I used the calculator up to this point because according to the calculator, a mortgage is still dead. That means I don't have no money to put away into a retirement account, 15% of anything to put anywhere. And that's where I left Dave Ramsey. I said, because that's business. That's where he sends you to one of his Vesta pros. They're going to show you how to defy the laws of mathematics at a price. That's called business. Nothing wrong with it. Doesn't make Dave bad. It makes him a good businessman. But I chose to trust the calculator, and that's where I left the Dave train. That's it. Then I start my own. LJ, one of the things you said that stuck with me is everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. And when it comes to the game of finance, Christopher, let me tell you something. You can choose to trust the calculator or not. That's a choice. If somebody says, hey, I bought a house, and you turn to them and say, you got a mortgage? And they say yes, they didn't buy anything. Here's the psychological part. They don't know that they didn't buy anything. People with mortgages don't know they're not homeowners. That's the psychological piece in capitalism. They don't know that. It's 100% mathematically impossible to own equity in a mortgaged house. 100%. No mistakes, nothing at all. You can't. But yet millions of people do. They're on the negative side of the economy. You don't have to be there. I help clients over to the positive side. Come here and you will see it all. You will create a business. You will sell homes to the people that believe they buy homes with mortgages. I'm not saying I'm not saying not be part of the system. I'm saying not be part of the system on the negative side. Come to the positive side. Say like you're a real estate agent, right? And that's what you do is sell homes. I'm telling you, you don't have a mortgage with your house. You have no debt personally. You have no mortgage personally. But when you go to sell houses, you sell people houses. If they believe they can buy a house with a mortgage, you sell it to them. That's called business. The difference is this too. So you will know for a fact. Say like you're a real estate agent, but you're debt free. Okay. When you go to sell to customers, they will know that you're not desperate. You could care less that they buy the house or not. It really doesn't matter because you won't need the money. You are doing business because that's what you do. You're good and they will pay you accordingly. I'm not saying you go out there and say, hey, people, you really can't buy a house with a mortgage. No, you would never have any business. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you sell them a house with a mortgage all day long. I'm just saying for yourself, you do not. You don't have a mortgage. You don't have car payments. You don't have any of that. Hey, LJ, what do you think happened to eviction moratorium code? I don't know. I stopped paying attention to that. Hold on, I gotta get some more water. All right. The media does all that fighting with Elon to entertain debt slaves. They really love him. On the free side, you will understand. Yeah, when you're on the positive side and you see all that stuff Elon's on, that's called free publicity. That keeps him in the media. It's just business. It's just business, nothing personal. When I hear, everybody, debt slaves love to hear the opinions of rich people. For some reason, you guys believe that their opinion is different than yours. Like when you hear, let me give you another example. When you hear the ex-president Trump, right? He says, "I don't pay taxes." When you hear that, what goes through your mind when he says out loud in public, on camera, on TV, "I don't pay taxes"? What goes through your mind? Do you think he's giving a big fu to the IRS? What do you think? Do you think because he's an ex-president, the IRS wouldn't bother him if he told that to him to their faces? Hey, IRS, I'm not paying taxes. You think they're going to say, "Oh, okay, it's okay. He's the ex-president." What do you think? What he's not saying is that he knows how to avoid taxes. You can legally avoid taxes, but guess what? You can't avoid taxes while you're in debt. You can't. People in debt cannot reduce or avoid taxes. Why? Because you guys are the taxes. When you drive to neighborhoods, you ever be with somebody, right? You're driving with somebody and you guys are driving through a nice part of town, and the people say, "Woo, taxes are too much in this area," or "This is not my zip code." They're telling you about their finances. Because obviously there are people that live in high tax areas. That means they can, not all of them, but some of them can afford it. When the only thing you're paying is taxes, taxes are not that much if you're just paying taxes. Like if say like this, you think of a nice area in a city you live, right? And you find out how much property taxes are over there, right? Now imagine if you had a paid off house, no debt in this nice area, a paid off house, absolutely no debt, no car payments, no credit card payments, and nothing. Do you think you could afford the property taxes in that area with the same job you have today? You probably could easily. Then taxes wouldn't seem so expensive. But what makes it seem like it's expensive because you're in debt. That's why. Same thing goes for child support, everything. Like when I was in debt, I thought child support was expensive. But when I got out of debt, I could clearly see that it was not. Any questions? If I ever meet him, man, I'm gonna say congratulations to you, Mr. Musk. Congratulations. I already see what you're about to do. Who know? Hey, listen, who knows what he's doing up there in space? We'll never know that. We'll never know that. You the only place you get your information is the internet. That's it. That's unless you talk to him personally, you're never gonna know what's going up on those rockets, who's paying for them, why they're up there, whatever. And it really doesn't matter because that's above your pay grade. If you're behind on your car payments, don't worry about what Elon's doing. If you are begging for student loan forgiveness, don't worry about what AI is doing, whatever that is. That could be many things. Everybody's you got to remember everybody's definition of AI is different. QJC says, LJ, do you really believe the people who built this economy want this information out there? You're speaking about having a mortgage because it's 100. Well, okay, so I see what you're saying though, QJC. The answer to that is yes and no. Because you got to remember, without humans, there is no economy. Okay, that's what people got to remember. Without it, and it doesn't matter how much money you have, everybody dies, period. So without humans, there is no economy. So there must be people, in order for this economy to keep going as it is, there must be people on the negative side and there must be people on the positive side. And you know as well as I know, there are not many people on the positive side. So I am here to help more people be on the positive side of the economy because they participate in our economy correctly, which helps our economy. And you also got to remember, QJC, the majority of debt slaves cannot hear a word I'm saying. You can hear me. Very few people that follow this channel can hear me, but debt slaves cannot hear me because it's against the laws of mathematics for them to. And that's what I want people to understand. The psychological part is this. Even though I'm speaking English, I'm talking about basic arithmetic. Debt slaves have no idea what I'm talking about. Nothing. They probably calling me crazy. Oh, who he think he is, and this and that. And then I just turn to them and say, "But is what I'm saying on the calculator right?" They'll say yes, but because I had this little conversation on my Facebook page, this going back and forth about home ownership and this and that. I said, "Do me a favor. Open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal." That's a large negative number. That means you know what the person says to me? Well, of course it's going to be a large negative number. Then what are you it's like then what are you talking about? Then he goes to proceed like there's something outside of the negative number. There's nothing. The only thing that exists outside the negative numbers that you see on your calculator when you put in those numbers is the bank. If you listen, if you open the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and it hit equal, the calculator says you own nothing because that's a large negative number. If you don't trust what the calculator says, the bank is outside the calculator to help you believe whatever you want to believe. The bank is there to tell you, yes, you can buy a house without. The bank says you can buy a house with no money. The calculator says you can't buy a house with no money. But if you choose to trust the bank, you just choose that's business on the negative side of every economy. That's important too. One thing in AI that they say once you die in the future, the ultra rich are going to be implanted in a computer to stay alive. Put it. This is what I want people to really understand, especially, and I know you'll understand this, Gabriel. The internet came out in 1969, the start of the internet, the birth of it, from what I've been told on the internet. 1969. We got the internet publicly towards the late 90s. So what you are seeing and what you're being shown right now is old technology. That's old stuff. That's not new. If you believe, listen, if you believe a person can't be cloned, wait, listen, they're cloning animals, right? But you don't believe a person can be cloned? That's your problem. I'm not saying I know it is, it's happening. I'm just looking at the obvious, okay? If we got the internet 30 years later, whatever they're showing us right now, these drones, little fly drones we have, that is old technology. If you sign a $250,000 mortgage loan to purchase a house, why doesn't the bank fill a briefcase of cash for 200 give it to the seller? I'm gonna make sure I'm reading your thing. If you sign a 200, if you sign for a $250,000 mortgage to purchase loan to purchase a house, why doesn't the bank fill a briefcase of cash to give to the seller? Because the because obviously if the person is coming to the bank to get a loan for the house, they don't have $250,000, and if they gave them $250,000 in cash, they wouldn't buy the house. That's why. Hold on for a quick second. So is that explanation pretty clear? Because if you gave, listen, if you gave somebody $250,000 that didn't have $250,000, they wouldn't, and you gave it to them in cash, they wouldn't take it back and buy the house. They would go spend it. The bank already put it this way: when you go, when you, when you, okay, this is what debt slaves really don't know. When you go to try to get a loan for a house, the first thing they're going to do is run your credit report. That's the first. Now, you guys think it has something to do with your credit score, right? It sort of does, but credit scores are more indicators if you pay your bills or not. It doesn't mean any. If you have a high credit score, it just means you pay the bank back their money on time. If you got a low credit score, that means you don't pay back the bank's money on time or the money that people that you borrow, right? It doesn't really. The main important part is inside your credit report. If you are coming to ask for a $300,000 mortgage, but you've been having $50,000 in student loan debt for the last 20 years, that tells them that you have no intentions on ever paying back this mortgage. So guess what they're going to offer you? A subprime mortgage. Subprime mortgages are for people that really, really don't know you can't buy a house with a mortgage. 3.5% down, borrow from your cousin, and you can transfer from your take money from your retirement account to put down on a house. That's all for people that don't know. I know. I'm just saying that they were saying online we will never know how AI will. No, we probably won't. People don't have no idea what's. It's probably amongst us right now. You don't know. You will never know. You have to know some people to know that. And if you're behind on car payments, don't worry about AI. If you have student loans older than your children, don't worry about AI. Yeah, don't that's none of your concern. If you're behind it says they just cloned a mouse with deer antlers, looking into growing back, arms, and legs, but Debt slaves won't be able to purchase this, just like asylum. Elysium. I think I'm saying that right, right? Everything. This is how I look at everything. It's called evolution. I remember when email addresses first came out, people were resistant against email. Oh no, man, my phone number works just fine, man. People can reach me by my phone number. Now, if you don't have an email address, people think you're weird. What this is how I look at progression. If they're cloning people, that's just, if people always assume that everything is things that are good used for bad. Yes, that's going to happen. That's always going to happen. But it doesn't make the good bad. It's still good. It's still good. QJC says a debt slave can earn $60,000 a year before taxes and finance a home for 300,000. How in the world does that make sense? It doesn't. And who? Hey, check it out, QJC. And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that they didn't pull out the calculator and says, "Hey, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense." No, CENTS. No, it doesn't. Are you still going to sign on the dotted line? Yes. Okay. Well, shit, that's called business. Uh, I say everybody who is in debt are. People like, oh, governors and politicians, they get special attention. They do, yes. What's your point? They get special treatment. Yeah. So what are you saying? I don't get it. Here, I always love to give these examples so people can really understand this. Okay, say like okay, you own your house, your wife and you got kids, 3 kids, and you're the father, okay? And you decided to have a family meeting where everybody in the house, mom, dad, kids, all have chores. Okay. Everybody's assigned the chores. And you say to the kids, hey, if you don't do your chores, here's your punishment for not doing your chores. What happens if you don't do your chore? Who's going to punish you? Nobody. If you say, okay, I'm dad, my job is to cut the grass every Friday, and then Friday comes and you don't cut the grass, who's going to punish you? Nobody. Nobody's going to punish you. Now, step outside into the house of the United States. Of course it stops somewhere. Of course. But that has nothing to do with you because you're not there. My governor Ron DeSantis has $25,000 in student loans. See, stuff like that, that makes absolutely no sense. What is a governor doing with outstanding student loan debt? That makes absolutely no sense. Debt doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care who you are, what position you're in, it doesn't matter. I want you guys to understand something. This is what I do to help my clients come to the positive side of the economy and become wealthy. Do you, do you just like I predict what Elon's going to do? I can predict myself. You know why? Because I know there's nobody like me. SMD will be worldwide, first the United States, and then the world. It doesn't matter how you feel or how you think of me or how you feel about mathematics is irrelevant. Everything is built, our whole entire capitalist system is built on mathematics. Period. The wonderful thing about our economy, you get to choose which side of it you want to be on. You get to choose. Positive or negative. If you don't trust a calculator, you live on the negative side. If you do, you live on the positive side. That's weird, right? Think about it, Gabriel. That is absolutely weird. Why you got 25? And now you want to find out Well, how long has the governor been having a student loan debt? And how much? Then you got to look up how much does he make? You look up the governor and say how much, because that's public information. Look how much money they make, and then you ask yourself, how in the world do you have student loan debt? That makes no sense. Now he could either be using it as a ploy. Hey, everybody, I'm like you. Look at me. I still have student loan debt, and I'm the governor. It could be a thing to grab into the people because maybe he knows the majority of the people have, they already know the majority of people have student loan debt. And if this governor says, hey, I have it too, the debt slaves will think, oh, he's like us, he's just like us, he's having trouble too, and this and that and blah blah blah. Who knows? Who knows? But if I heard a governor say, hey, I still have my student loan debt, I would raise my hand and say, why? You clearly make six figures in this position. Why do you have student loan debt? That doesn't make any sense. Real deep, Gabriel, real deep. And check this out. I'm 53. I'm sure I will never know how deep the hole goes either. Never. But I'm just glad to be here. I'm on the positive side. Any questions before I get out of here? You know what's so crazy, Gabriel? Mel, it's probably just the business. It's business. It's nothing personal. It's not, I mean, I I hope he's not saying it and he doesn't really have them, but that's something that you're never going to be able to prove, because the only way you could see that, you have to be able to look at his personal credit report, which is not going to happen. That's something that you can never know because that's not public information. That's private information. Debt slaves, they don't know if he was at a meeting and he said, "Hey, everybody, I have $25,000 in student loan debt." The people in the audience don't know to ask why. They know there's nobody who's going to say, "Why do you have that?" Because they believe everybody has it. Debt slaves really believe it's going to be wiped out. No, it's not. Student loan debt is how that's how debt slaves are purchased. That's how they buy you guys. Student loan debt. That's how you're purchased. Debt slaves, you can't physically buy debt slaves directly. That's illegal. That's called slavery. You can't do that. But you can buy them through things because it's not direct. They buy you through the student loan debt. They own you. They buy you through the car. They buy you through the house. They buy you through the credit cards. That's how they purchase you. But the difference between consumer debt and student loan debt is a true purpose because you can't bankrupt that. You can bankrupt all the other debt, but you cannot bankrupt student loan debt. That means you are officially purchased. The only way you're getting the only way you're going to be able to ever own yourself again, you have to pay off your student loan debt like I did. Like all the other people that follow the SMV channel did. They paid it off. They now own themselves. LJ, also, let's not forget Tesla is a data company, so everyone who owns a Tesla is gathering geographic info for Tesla. So like we have Google Maps, we may have Tesla Maps soon. That's a man with better detail. Didn't even see that one October. See how listen, see how you can see the obvious October? See how you see in the obvious? Exactly. I didn't see that. I didn't even see that, but that makes total sense. All the streets, drive everywhere. And it's theirs. They own it, not Google. Here in Florida also had student loans. See, it doesn't make sense. Maybe they're using it to grab the people. Maybe they're not. I don't know what they're doing. But unless we see their credit report, we don't know. Because they can say, "Hey, I got student loan debt. Hey, he's like us." Okay, well, that makes them feel better, get more votes, whatever. It's business. I don't really care what they do. What What debt slaves don't know, their opinions in the economy are irrelevant because they don't even own themselves. So whatever they vote for, whatever they do, hey, whatever makes them feel good. A lot of politicians who went to Ivy League colleges still talk about their student loans. I see. I've done take the pill, LJ. Thanks. You're welcome. Like if you went to an Ivy League college, but you still have your student loan debt since you went to Ivy League college, it doesn't matter that you went to an Ivy League college because obviously they didn't teach you math in that Ivy League college. If you still put it this way, if you went to an Ivy League college 20 years ago and you still have the student loan debt from that Ivy League college 20 years ago, it doesn't matter what they must have didn't teach you math because I'm sure they told you not to keep your student loan debt for 20 years. If you went to an Ivy League college and you still have your student loan debt, don't tell nobody that you went to an Ivy League college. Don't do that, at least publicly. Teslas are like Cadillacs and Rolls Royces. They will also lose value once payment of that outrageous amount is made. Yeah, I mean, that part, like you got to remember, the price of a car is different for each person who drives it. Like when you go online and you see a Tesla, let's say like this, let's go 50,000. Okay, you see a Tesla for 50,000. That price you see that they're quoting is only for people who pay cash. Is 50,000. Everybody who finances a Tesla, it's a different price for each person. It counts on their credit, interest rate, down payments. Who knows? But you got to remember, finance cars are based on gross income. Money before taxes are taken out, you're already upside down. And then a lot of these cars are based on overtime and gross income plus interest rate. That car is not 50,000. But yet, when a person who finances a Tesla, they'll go out, show it off and they'll say, hey, how much you get that car for? They'll tell them the full price of the car when they didn't get it for the full price of the car. They financed it. Oh, this car was 50,000, not for you. Did you buy it in cash? They'll say no. Then it wasn't 50,000 for you. How you know if you own a Tesla right now and you want to know the deal how much you got the car for? Log into your online bank account, look up the balance remaining on your Tesla. That's how much you got the car for. That's the value of your Tesla for you. Don't look in Kelley Blue Book. That's Kelley Blue Book is for people who pay cash for cars. Your car value is your bank account, is your loan amount balance. That's the value of the Tesla for you. People in student loan debt promoting my Ivy League schools for free. Now, if you said that out loud, October, and then you start laughing, guess how they look at you? Who's that crazy? Why is that crazy dude laughing? That's not even funny. But to us, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Promoting people in student loan debt, promoting the college. What are you talking about? No. That means I'm not going to that college. No. IRS debt and student debt is the only debt you can't get out of unless you pay it off in fully. I'm sure it's a reason for sure. For sure. Those are the ones you need to pay attention to. The ones you cannot bankrupt, because bankruptcy is a tool. Listen. People that have let me tell you something. I know there's some people out there that are in deep debt that has contemplated bankruptcy chapter 7. Now, debt slaves will make you believe that you're a loser if you did that. But you got to stop and think that's a tool that is there for a reason. Chapter 7 bankruptcy is there for a reason. It's a tool. If you wake up and you understand, you find out you're on the negative side of the economy, chapter 7 will help you get to zero the fastest. It will help you get to zero the fastest. But then they invented chapter 13 for people that want to claim bankruptcy but don't want to get rid of the stuff that got them in bankruptcy. They want to keep it. That's chapter 13 is for those people that still don't get it. That's why you can you can constantly file chapter 13 over and over and over again, but you can't do that with chapter 7. You got to wait for like 8 to 10 years. That should tell you something. There's a reason why that is. Chapter 7 frees you. Chapter 13 doesn't. I'm gonna say that one more time. Chapter 7 bankruptcy frees you, allows you to own yourself. Chapter 13 doesn't. Chapter 13 is for people that don't get it still. Because you hear it all the time. Somebody will go file chapter 13. What's the first thing they go do? Go finance a new car. They think they got more money. All right, last call. Any questions? All right, so I'm gonna get on off here then. Get on off. All right, man. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Until next time. Exactly. If chapter 7 is good enough for Dave Ramsey, it's good enough for me. Exactly. Dave says it all the time. He filed chapter 7. They probably, oh, that's how he did it. That's how he got. Debt slaves have excuses for anything you present to a debt slave. They always got a counter to why they don't think it's something. You know. Again, congratulations to Mr. Musk on your future endeavors. What you're doing, taking over the industry, disrupting the industry, forcing the people that have been at it for so long to change up, get them uncomfortable. Love it. Absolutely love it. Just think about it. Like Verizon, AT&T, they've been sitting at the top of the phone game forever. Not anymore. Verizon's not going to be number one anymore. Neither is AT&T. That's why T-Mobile joined what? Tesla. Tesla's going to be number one. T-Mobile's going to be number two, and AT&T and Verizon are going to have to fight for the scraps. You're welcome, October, for sure. Love seeing when you guys. I love it when you can see the obvious, when you can see it. Like it's so obvious, right? They think check it out, October. They think if you say something like this, they think you're predicting the future when you're not really predicting the future because the future doesn't exist, only the present moment. And when you come to the positive side, you can obviously see the obvious. It's obvious. LJ took a ride in the Tesla Model 3 and was bouncing around all over the place. Those cars are shoe pieces or show pieces. Well, it probably is. I mean that's not, when it comes to these cars. I'm not saying that they're the best in the market and all this other stuff. I'm just telling you when they start this Tesla rideshare service, people are not going to really care. They're gonna pay that service, and guess what? Whatever they're charging now, think about it. This is what I want you guys to see, because that's how you deal with that blue chip thing. You see what he did on Twitter? He took away the blue chip and now make people pay for it. Now the blue chip is worth nothing. Who cares if you have a blue chip? Anybody can buy one. Who cares, right? He's gonna come out with his rideshare service and he's gonna make it cheaper. How can he make it cheaper? Because they already controlled every single Tesla, and the Teslas only run on electricity, and they own the superchargers. Uber and Lyft cannot financially mess with that. They can't. They cannot mess with that. And they say, hey, as long as you're with our service, when we use your car, before we give it back, we'll give it back to you fully charged. Do you think Uber and Lyft can mess with that? They can't. They can't touch that. Congratulations, Mr. Musk. Congratulations. I came late, but I will be on live another day. You have a very good day. Thank you, Queen. Much appreciated. All right, then I'm gonna wrap it up. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. See ya.